Okay, today we're going to be looking at how to factorise quadratics. I'm only looking at the simplest case, where we're looking at a coefficient of x squared being equal to 1. First things first, what does factorise mean? Factorise means put brackets back in. If you think about when we're asking about numbers and factors, if I said what are the factors of 20, I'm looking for pairs of numbers that multiply together to make 20. 1 and 20, for example, 2 and 10, 4 and 5, because I can think of 4 times 5 being equal to 20. Same sort of thing when they're asked to factorise an expression like this. I'm putting a bracket in so that I can write 6x plus 10. I've got a common factor of 2, so I can take the 2 out the front. It's 2 bracket 3x plus 5. Because think about what's not written there, what is there. It's 2 times, it's 2 lots of it. We tend not to write the times in, but we are writing it as something times something else. And it's going to be the same sort of thing when we're looking at today, which is putting brackets into quadratic expressions. But before we do that, let's have a look at how we go the other way. The question could be expand this bracket times this bracket. And if you do it as a grid, I can think of x times x being x squared, x times 4 being 4x, 2 times x being 2x, and 2 times 4 being 8. Some of you have done like FOIL, smiley face or anything like that, but you end up with 4 terms of which 2 of them are both got x in, so I can link them together to get x squared plus 6x plus 8. So our questions today though are going from that being the question to this being our answer, bracket times bracket. So my method then for doing ones like this, where it's 1x squared and then something x and then something else, I need to find factors of the constant, the thing at the end, that add up to the middle thing, because I'm splitting that middle thing up. I'm splitting the 6x up as 4x and 2x, so it factorises in each direction to give me the bracket times bracket. Okay. So for example, if I've got x squared plus 7x plus 12, well, I can think about factors of 12. 1 and 12, got my factors then, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, and that's it. Because anything beyond 3 I've already got. So I've got these 3 pairs here. So in this case then, factors of 12 that add up to 7 are 3 and 4. What it means is this: I can simply skip this bit here and just go straight to the answers, x plus 3 and x plus 4 in the brackets. Because what I'm basically doing, I'm splitting that 7x as 4x and 3x, so it multiplies in each direction as if one side is x plus 3 and one side is x plus 4. That is my factorised answer, full stop. So let's have a look at a couple of cases and a few twists. The 2 twists are when your constant is plus and when it's minus. When it's plus at the end, well, it's quite straightforward. I can think of factors of 20 that add up to 12. So let's look at 20 again. 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5, like that. And I can think to myself, well, 2 and 10 make 12, so it's quite straightforward. All right, x plus, either way around, doesn't matter which way around you write them, x plus 2, x plus 10. Same thing could happen here when it's plus 20 at the end, but when the middle's a minus. Now, if it's a plus at the end, the things in the brackets, the signs in the brackets are going to be the same, and they're going to be the same as whatever that middle term is, because 2 add 10 gives me 12. In the same sort of way, it's the same number, it's the same factors. Let's have a look at how I'm going to get that minus 9 now. 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. The only way I'm going to get 9 from that is using the 4 and the 5. And in particular, when they are both minus, because minus 4 times minus 5 is plus 20, minus times minus is plus, minus 4 minus 5 is minus 9. So I can write the bracket as x minus 4 and x minus 5. So when the thing at the end, the constant is plus, the numbers in the brackets will have the same signs. They will have whatever sign that middle term has there. So when that's plus, they're both plus. When that's minus, they're both minus. As I say, that's when the end term is plus though. It's more difficult when the last term is a minus, like in this case here. We're still the same process. They're still going to multiply together to make minus 14 and add up to plus 5. But the signs have a relevance here. So I'm going to look at 14, 1 and 14, 2 and 7. Well, the only way I'm going to get 5 from those is with this, because what happens now to give me minus 14 is that one of the brackets is plus and one of the brackets is minus. So the things are going to be different signs. They're still going to add up to plus 5 here. The only way I'm going to get plus 5 from these two numbers if it's 7 minus 2. So it's minus there with the 2 and plus there with the 7. They still multiply together to make minus 14 and add up to plus 5. Okay? So what happens in this case is when the thing at the end is minus, the two signs in the bracket will be different. The bigger number of the two will always have whatever sign that middle term has. So since that's plus, the bigger number is plus. In this case, the bigger number will be minus. That tells me they're both different. This tells me the bigger number is negative. So if I looked at factors of 30, you don't have to write out all the factors. You can use your times table knowledge to think, well, what times what equals 30? And in this case, that has a difference of 1. So 1 and 30 are nowhere near. 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 4 doesn't go into it, 5 does, 5 and 6 are the ones with a difference of 1. And in particular, to get minus 30, it's going to be minus 6 and 5. So x minus 6, x plus 5. Now, as before, the order around the brackets doesn't matter, but the minus has to go with the 6 to give me minus 1x. And again, that's what that is there. We don't write the 1, but it's there. And that's really it. We'll look at 4 examples, and I'll use the same number. I'm going to use 24 in each case here. So I'm going to look at factors of 24, 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. So when they're all plus, it's nice and straightforward. I'm looking for two numbers that add up to 10, that multiply together to make 24. So I've got 4 and 6, and everything's plus. Like that. When that's plus, but the middle's minus, they're still going to add up to make 11. In reality, they're making minus 11 because they're both negative. So how do I get 11 from these numbers? With 3 and 8, so x minus 3, x minus 8. When it's negative though, they're going to have different signs. They're still going to add up to 23, but in this case, the two numbers that make 23 are going to be 1 and 24. And to get plus 23, the bigger number is plus, and the smaller number is minus. Notice, see the similarity with this last example here, x squared minus 10x minus 24, and x squared plus 10x plus 24. The numbers though are different because there's a couple of ways of getting to the 10 with these numbers here. 4 and 6 add up to 10, but 2 and 12 have a difference of 10, and that's key here because they are going to have different signs. So one of them is going to be a 12, and one of them is going to be a 2, one's going to be plus, one's going to be minus. To give me minus 10x, the bigger number is negative, and the smaller number is positive. They still multiply together to make minus 24, but when I add minus 12x and plus 2x, it gives me minus 10x there. So to recap, we'll go back and sum it all up. We'll say our method, find factors of this that add up to that. And obviously it depends whether this number at the end is plus or minus. When it's plus, the numbers will add up to whatever's in the middle, but they'll share the same sign as that middle term. When the number at the end is minus, the things in the brackets will have different signs. They still add up to what's in the middle, but you've got to make sure one's plus and one's a minus. And that, for this part of factorising, is sort of all there is to it.